Howdy everybody, how y'all doing? And welcome to the Ice House, where we try to keep things cool, calm, collected, and mostly a bit chill. Well, I've been pondering again, and for some of you guys who've been following me for a while, you know that I've been pondering for a long time, and I did think about bringing back the ponderance segment, and I don't know, maybe I might, but I kind of feel like these Ice House videos are, well, a little bit more of the long form and a little bit more of the ability to, I don't know, see where it goes, right? Hopefully I'm just as entertaining and just as fun as those shorter bits, but I don't know. You let me know what you think, right? Is it time to ponder again? I mean, let me know down below in the comments, right? Well, in that sort of same vein of things, I've been pondering about this whole phrase, the suspension of disbelief, right? It's a term that gets tossed around a lot, and for good reason, because when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to fiction, when it comes to, well, allowing ourselves to be immersed in a man-made world of an idea, of a fiction, of some sort of whimsical parallel of life, right? It takes a little bit of the suspension of disbelief to allow ourselves to not critique and not, well, deconstruct or completely rip to shreds this idea that somebody's presenting. And I mean, in some ways I think we've lost that, right? Because it seems these days it seems more like if we like somebody or we think they're okay, we'll let things slide and accept certain, well, pretenses in what they say, right? Fact or fiction. But if we don't like somebody, we'll rip to shreds everything they do and everything they say because we don't want to accept from the start what they have to say. So obviously, there's no suspension of disbelief, and it's just drama and all that stuff, right? And there's got to be some in between, right? Right? I think the word art critic is kind of a dirty word, and just kind of like game journalists and journalistic integrity and all that stuff. I mean, I probably should use air quotes for journalistic integrity like I have before. But, all that stuff, right? That's kind of been playing around in pop culture and the news and legacy media and the new media and all that stuff, right? Well, we still want entertainment. And, well, and that brings us back to the kind of silliness that is suspension of disbelief, right? And so let's dig into it. I mean, just saying the phrase out loud, right? When you think about suspension, right? I mean, first thing that came to mind was a vehicle, right? Because I think every now and then when we hear the squeaky car goes over the bumps, that like, man, they need to work on their suspension. And then I started thinking, because I'm not in school anymore, so I don't deal with the principal, but I also kind of thought like, oh, maybe like a little one-panel cartoon where the suspension or disbelief is in the principal's office and is yelling at, "You're suspended," right? I mean, again, wordplay and kind of talking about the silliness of it, right? Because, I mean, there's so much when somebody's creating a world and creating laws and creating lore, at some point we just have to say, oh, okay, this means this, and this is how it's going to be, right? It's the same thing when we have inside jokes with friends and the silliness and what certain phrases mean and whatnot, because it's not a literal one-to-one comparison, but we're lore building and we're having fun. And sometimes that silliness and creativity can turn into something more whimsical and fantastical, right? If we let it. And I enjoy those things, but I don't know, because I enjoy somebody who crafts a world, or a world that's crafted based on human experiences and human emotions. Because let's face it, puppet emotions and puppet experiences are pretty much secondhand anyway. Did you hear a rim shot? I think I heard a rim shot. Right? But the whole thing about having something that you can immerse yourself in, right? This, and I will have to say this, I don't read as much as I used to, or I should, but some books just, you know, they take you off into a world, and it's not like you're reading anymore. That's, you know, opening up your mind to ideas, and, well, you kind of feel like you're there, right? Because your imagination can run wild, which is awesome, right? But kind of feels like entertainment today, and a lot of stuff we experience, it seems like the suspension of disbelief is less about the story and less focused on the world that they're creating. It's more of, well, for us to believe the actors, or us to believe things about the studio, or us to believe things about the production, right? When the product no longer speaks for itself, because everything about the production has its own tone and agenda and its own sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, but its own, a life of its own, I should say, right? Because art has a life of its own. But when you have the interviews with the cast and director and all that stuff, and then we find out all the things that they hoped for and wanted, whether it's part of the project or, you know, just what they want to do with their own career, all of a sudden, the product itself can kind of get lost, right? Because, well, the question is, are we using entertainment to promote people to get where they want? Are we being entertainment to promote the entertainment itself? And then, as a byproduct, you're interested in who was a part of it and what they wanted to do and how they got there, right? I mean, cart before the horse, right? Things like that. Yeah. It's confusing, because I want to be immersed in the story. I don't want to be so caught up trying to understand why and what people are saying on the red carpet, or about what they think their character should be, that I have lost interest or energy or attention span to even consume the product, right? I mean, speaking of carts before the horse, right? I mean, what's the suspension on that cart? I don't know. Does it need to be fixed? Because, and this is the thing that I keep coming back to, is the fact that when it comes to the idea of suspension of disbelief, right? If the stories are just a loose 1-to-1 ratio calling out things in current day, right? If it's just a veiled guise to, I don't know, complain about something or critique something instead of just saying it outright, you know, it's not art, it's something else entirely, because it's not creative or good or inspiring. Like, and this is the best way I can put it, right? If your suspension of disbelief is so squeaky or low, or it can't clear all the things that you're trying to throw at people, right? If an average suspension of disbelief doesn't work to get through whatever rocky road or off-road trail that you're putting people on, like, if people need to go get a lift kit right? If you need a lift kit to just deal with somebody else's suspension of disbelief or what they're asking you to do, it's probably not a good policy, right? Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to have to take my suspension of belief into the shop and have to get it tuned up and, get a 4 to 6 inch lift kit just to handle all the crap people are trying to throw at me, just so I can make it, and hopefully not break down along the way, just to make it to the actual final product to see if I'm even interested in experiencing that, right? I hope that visual is sinking in, because I want the story, the idea, the creativity to speak for itself, and then, well, we can enjoy it or not, and respond or reflect, right? But in a world that is all about the process and less about the product, well, what are we selling? What are we advertising, right? And I mean that as a universal you, because I'm just pondering. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not even monetized yet here, so I appreciate your time, because they say time is money, and you're hanging out with me, so I guess that means there's something valuable here worth. Yeah. Anyway, also, because I'm a short penguin, I don't want to have to get a lift kit on a big old truck, and then, just picture this, me trying to climb up a ladder just to get inside the vehicle, right? Obviously, I'm too short to drive, but if I'm just trying to ride along with my friends, and I can't even get into the vehicle, I don't know, is it worth my time? Is it worth your time? Let me know what you think, right? And also, it's good to get your suspension tuned up on your disbelief now and then, and on your actual vehicle, because, car maintenance is also important. Yeah. Well, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this whole idea and this silly concept that I've put you through, right? So, if you have any thoughts, just put them down below, and do the whole like and subscribe thing, and share it out if, well, you think my ponderances are fun, or maybe you want to give me to get back to pondering more, right? All that, I'd love to hear your feedback. But at this point, that's about all I got. I definitely should take my car in for a tune-up soon, and, well, I'll let you know how that goes. So, until next time, we'll see you later. Bye!